Okay. Right. Well, it's great to talk to you, Lothar. And here you are in your studio. I wanted to thank you so much for participating in our Eye of the Huntress inaugural virtual show. And it's fantastic to have you in there. And so I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions. What do you look for in an amazing work of art?
Well, I think probably what amazes me in art is a work which takes me a bit away from reality or does confuse me. I really love works where I go out and I think, oh, I didn't understand it. I don't have a clue what that was meant to be. And works which probably create create a space in your head which is a bit like freedom, which is a bit like takes you away from all the things around you and takes you into a space of art, and which probably have or transport a clear vision of the artist.
Mm. Do you have one particular artist in mind who does this for you?
Well, there's quite a big number. No, I don't. I wouldn't like to pin that down to one specific artist. It's as well sometimes a specific work, which I remember then very well for a long time.
Yeah. And so if you were not an artist, what would you be doing?
Well, I mean, there are other art forms. I was always a bit playing with when I was younger. I really wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a dancer. I mean, these are art forms as well, of course, but wouldn't be like a visual artist. Otherwise, I quite like nature. I always thought I could probably be a farmer or be somewhere with flowers, be a gardener, farmer, or something in that direction.
And the art world in 2021 will look how?
Well, I better don't think about that. I really hope that we will be. I mean, first, I hope that the art world actually survives, that artists can still produce work and have their money and the resources, and that the museums stay open. And then, I mean, I do quite miss two things. I mean, which I hope that it will be, is that we can return to explore physical art. I mean, go and combine art with other things like socializing and going into town, travel. I mean, I just realized how much the art world is connected into other things we do, and to have that connection again, that would be great.
Yes, you're right. We miss the physical world of being able to look at the art.
I mean, I think that all digital things, that's great, and it's a relief that exists to get us through that time. I mean more that connection, that you meet someone, the socializing, and I just realized that's the art world is my life.
Yeah.
And there is more taken away than just looking at an artwork.
Yes. And so that brings me to the question, what is your recent obsession?
Well, my recent obsession probably is watching The Crown.
Yes, you said to me when I asked you a question some time ago, who would you want to have lunch with? And you very memorably said the Queen at Balmoral Castle.
I started and I could just binge watch it, but I'm very disciplined. I allow me two episodes and that's it. And I could start from the beginning again. I mean, I've watched them all so far.
Right. And what's something that people don't know about you?
I think people don't know my love for nature, and I mean, I really, really love farm animals, and particularly cows. There's hardly anything which makes me so happy to be around a fielding with cows. And I would just like to hug and stroke them, but you're not allowed, or you shouldn't do it. But that is quite something maybe people don't realize, how close I feel to nature.
And what do you want audiences to take away from your work?
Well, I think probably something which fascinates me in artwork when I look at things is like that people sense a space of freedom, and that people take something away which enriches their lives, or enriches something which gives them something where they don't have to justify themselves, where there is a space where you can just be happy, or you play, or you're just yourself, and you don't really have to think a lot. You can, like, I mean, I'm working with color, it's a main thing, and to have that joy of color and that directness, and that is just that and not more, that there is this world of art which is, in my eyes, I mean, recently, with all the politicization of everything, I really tend again to love l'art pour l'art, and I think it's a important area where we can relax and we can recharge, and someone can just take something away which is not really meaningful, but can completely change your perception onto other things in life.
So it's a different realm that takes you away from your normal
Yeah,
thinking process. Yeah.
I mean, something which offers you a space which is different to the whatever day-to-day, whatever agenda we are all so much whatever embodied with.
And so you use a lot of color. What is your favorite material?
Well, I mean, clearly I love paint, but I'm actually not a real material person. I could kind of live without material. I mean, in that kind of, I mean, like, one material I, for instance, love when I do work is, and in a material aspect, probably that's it, is paper and pencil, color pencil and paper. I do like a lot, and I did works on old paper, on paper I found, partly as well because I thought with climate change and sustainability questions, it's great to do a work which uses actually as little material as possible. So I'm a bit like, yeah, the least material necessary. That's a bit my point on that.
That's very interesting. And what's the process of the piece that we have in this show is called Salsa Silver,
Yeah.
which obviously has this wonderful musical suggestion. What's the process that you use for that work?
Well, the process, I mean, in terms of like the concept is that most of my works come out of series, and very often they're linked to a move or to a dance or to something which develops from work to work. So I would then do a few works and develop a composition where one color reacts to another color. I mean, technically it's done so that the shapes, at first I do a drawing of the shapes, and then this can change in the process, and the shapes are getting then placed one next to another, and the one color responds to the other one. And I think this is where it's very often like a dance or a movement where one step follows another one. And I mean, technically they are painted in quite a lot of layers, so that actually the actual materiality or the brush stroke is disappearing, so that it's becoming a real monochrome surface, which very often looks like this, as if it's done very quickly, but it's actually not. It's quite a long process, and then I'm using tape, and then to get really clear, sharp edges to place one color next to the other.
So the shapes and are choreographed and they dance, but they look very almost still at first, and there's this a very finished surface to a certain extent. It's very interesting to hear that. And if you could have anything delivered to your door, what would it be?
Well, I would love if someone just delivers me a tiny little open top sports car, preferably in orange or bright green, where I can just drive off.
Yeah, so that will be the day when we're all free to go anywhere. And so what is one of the projects that you most enjoyed doing?
Well, I probably recently, if I talk about site-specific wall paintings, it was the project I did for Towner in Eastbourne, where I was able to paint the entire gallery, I mean, the entire outside wall space from the gallery. And
I think I've got an image of it here, actually. That
yes,
one.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
That was probably, I mean, in terms of output and outreach to a community and respond and a kind of contact to a really big audience of a city, the most exciting work, and as well size-wise and architecturally. And it's a piece, what I really tremendously enjoy with it is you can't really get that from an image. You have to be there physically, basically, that how it plays with light. And because of the shape of the building, whenever, I mean, from whatever direction the sun is hitting it, and it's basically hitting it from three directions, it builds up shadows which cast kind of triangular shapes, which are then interacting with the actual painted ones. And the other thing which one cannot see on an image as well is that it's getting reflected in all the windows of the building opposite. And sometimes there is opposite exactly where the view now from where we are looking at the building now, that there is a school opposite with quite a few big glass windows, and the work in a certain whatever time of the day gets completely reflected in these images. So that was probably, I mean, as a kind of public art piece or wall painting, the most complex works I did recently.
That's fantastic. And what is what's next for you?
Well, the next thing, I just got the works picked up from the studio this afternoon, is my solo show Salvation at Domo Bar Gallery in London, which opens kind of after lockdown, hopefully. So I will be able to install next week. I will do a small wall painting and then show lots of work with smaller sizes, which I did during lockdown, and which kind of address desires, things we missed, hopes during that time.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, I really look forward to being able to see that show, and thank you very much for answering our questions, and speak to you soon.
Yeah, no, thanks very much as well. It was a pleasure.
Okay, I'll speak soon. All right, bye now.
Yeah, all right, bye.
Bye.